All right, guys. Appreciate you giving me an opportunity to talk to you today. My name is Kenny Morris, and I teach U.S. history and I coach football at Northgate High School. I've coached a lot of different sports in my career. I was a head baseball coach for 26 years. I've coached football. I coached softball for 1 year, coached basketball for several years. And through all of those opportunities, I've always encountered the FCA and owe a great deal of debt to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes for the blessings that they've given me. So I really appreciate them, and I think this is a great thing they're doing during this quarantine time that we have, because I know that for me, I wake up every day, I feel like it's Groundhog Day. If you've ever seen the movie with Bill Murray, he wakes up at 6 a.m. every morning to the same song, and he repeats that same day over and over and over again. And that's how a lot of us feel right now. But we've got to figure out a way to make the best out of this. And one of the things that we can do is look at Psalms 46, and it tells us to be still and know that I am God. And this is definitely an opportunity for us to slow down, to understand that we don't have to have everything right now. We can progress through and we can listen to God's voice. I think that's an important thing for us, because one of the things that for me that I need to learn during this time is how to be content with where I am. And that doesn't mean I don't want something better, but it means that I'm going to embrace the time that I have. I'm going to embrace that day each and every day whenever I get up. We use a saying in football, have your head and your rear end in the same place. In other words, don't be sitting in one place and thinking way off somewhere in the distance. A lot of times we encounter seniors who have, many times we call it senioritis, and their head is already off at college or off at a job or a technical school, whatever they have next. They miss out on embracing the time that they have right there. And I feel bad for them, because I know they're going to look back and they will realize they've missed out on some important times. And I think this year's senior class realizes that now, as their opportunities were taken away from them through the COVID-19 pandemic. But we've got to understand that we always have that opportunity to be content, to be where we are, not to worry about what's next, but to allow God to prepare us for what's next. We know that God is going to be with us no matter where we are, whether it's as he says in Hebrews, yesterday, today, or forever. He is never going to change. We know that he is going to provide for us, because he says he'll supply all of our needs according to his riches. He tells us that in Philippians. It might not be the standard that we want, but God says he's going to provide for our needs. And so, we have to learn to be content in those situations, because now we've got to have preparation. And God is always preparing us for what's coming next. Right now, I have a question for you about your preparation time, and that involves an old story. Are you investing your time, or are you spending your time? If you are spending more time in prayer and Bible study and more time, working on your relationships with other people, if you're learning new skills or new languages, doing things to make you better, to improve your relationships with others and with Christ, then you're investing your time. If you're spending all day, every day, playing video games, on social media, watching Netflix, then you're spending your time. And there's not a lot of return when you spend your time rather than investing your time. Now, we need a combination of both, but we have to understand that we have to invest that time. Now, when it came to preparation, and that's what investing is, it prepares us. King David knew all about preparation. He had spent his childhood as a shepherd, a lot of dark, scary, lonely nights out with his flock. It was his job to protect them. And he learned how to fight off wild animals and kill wild animals to protect his flock. That prepared him to fight Goliath. Then David is going to become the best friend of the king at the time, King Saul. His son is David's best friend. And Saul becomes very jealous of many things that David is doing and tries to assassinate David. David is forced to live in caves and eat locusts for 8 years. But while he's going through those hard times, he learns empathy. He learns how to lead. He learns about other people and their attitudes. So even though David had these peaks and valleys, and he's going to continue to have peaks and valleys while he's the king of Israel during his 40-year reign, he's going to have his ups and downs. But God had prepared him for that through these various situations that he went through. So, I challenge you today to invest your time. Come out of this a better person than you were when you went in. Have a better relationship when you come out than when you went in. And I know right now it feels like we're never coming out, but God tells us in Psalms that weeping may last for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. And so be ready when that rejoicing comes. Be ready to step out and say, I'm prepared for whatever God has for me. Thank you again, and thank you to the FCA. We're going to get through all of this, and God is still going to be on the throne, and he's still going to love us. Thank you.